Hey there, my fellow intellectuals. Welcome back to Highly Variable. I am your host, Kyle Cabasares, and today I have a very special story to tell you guys today. I just literally experienced something so amazing just not even half an hour ago. And what is it, you may ask? Well, if you read the title of the episode, you probably have guessed. I have finally won a solos a solo finish in Fortnite, which means I finished first place in a battle royale of 100 people in Fortnite. Now, I finished in first place with a squad, but I've never finished first place by myself as an individual player, duking it out against other individual players for the supreme title of number one in that given game. And ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you that this is epic, and unfortunately, I don't actually even have any footage from it, because guess what? I thought it was going to be a total wash, that game. I want to give you the background and the thoughts, the emotions, the raw feelings that I was going through in that moment. And those of you who don't play Fortnite, I'm sorry, then maybe you should just stop listening right now. But maybe even if you don't, if you're just interested in hearing stories about determination, willpower, perseverance, not giving up, this is the story for you. This is the story. It is my story of my first ever Fortnite first place finish in solos. And now I am just tired out my voice because I was just yelling after my victory so much. I'm going to drink a cup of water right now. Or a sip, not a cup. I can't drink a cup right now, but I'm just so hype. I literally was in disbelief. I filmed a little bit of a post reaction that I will post. Maybe I'll drop it in the middle of the podcast on YouTube. So if you're listening on YouTube, there will probably be a clip somewhere. You know what? How about this? I'll put it right about. I was gonna say now, but not now. Let's wait until after I tell you the story, and then I'll put the clip at the end after the story. So here's the story. Okay. I have been working all week this past week. It's finals week. I didn't really have any finals, but I did have a lot of research to do because I'm going to Hawaii at the start of January. So I said to myself, okay, I'm going to work hard this week. And I did work very hard this week. I worked tirelessly this week. And it's currently Saturday, so I'm just taking a little bit of a break, but I do know I have a lot of more work to do. But I said, you know what? I should take a little bit of a break. I should relax a bit. I should get some downtime, right? I deserve some downtime as a graduate student, right? Some graduate students like, no, you definitely don't. You have no sympathy. Okay, fine. I will give myself downtime whether or not you think I should or not. But anyways, my downtime was going to be, let's play some Fortnite. Fortnite, those of you who don't know, I can't believe you may not know, but if you don't know, it's probably because you don't have little kids around you or younger cousins or people who play Fortnite. But Fortnite is this game. It's like a third-person shooter game. It's a battle royale, which means you are pitted against other people where you are trying to fight for the number one spot. So essentially, there's this big open space map where everyone drops down in. There's 100 people to start, and you have to just scavenge the land for items and guns, and you're supposed to just defeat the other players to be the number one player of that round. So you just have to survive until the very end. And there's building involved. There are like storms where you can only be in certain zones without getting hurt. So you have to sort of run towards the safe areas, which forces people to fight each other because they're going to be in close proximity. And so those of you who do know, this is all obvious. But for me, this game came out, I don't even know how long, maybe 2 years ago. And I wasn't really that into it. I really still am not that into it. But I know that a lot of people are into it. I know a lot of little kids are into it. So I was like, okay, I'll play it. I have it downloaded on my computer. I play with a few friends now and then, but very, very sporadically, not on a day-to-day basis, not even a week-to-week or month-to-month basis. It's more like a 6 month to 6 month basis. So I can't remember the last time I picked up Fortnite. Maybe it was a month or two ago, just because I was bored and had really nothing else to do. But okay, so I was like, okay, I'm going to go into this Fortnite lobby. I'm just going to play. I'm just going to no expectation. I literally went in with zero expectation. I thought I was going to die within the first 5 minutes of the game. And I drop in this place, and immediately I already see like 3 other people in the vicinity. And I'm like, oh great, I picked a bad place to drop. Because I don't really know where the best drop locations are, right? So I drop in, and I see a couple of people. I actually land near a gun, so I pick up the gun in the game, and I actually eliminated my first opponent. I eliminated like 2 other people in some pretty intense firefights. Some of them, they actually got the drop on me, and I somehow was able to just pinpoint shoot them just to get the elimination. And so I get 3 kills out of the gate, and that was like a good sign. I'm like, wow, 3 kills out of the gate, that's pretty good. I don't normally get kills that often. And man, I have to tell you, I traverse the land because I wasn't near that safe zone I was telling you about earlier. I had to like traverse the land. I had to encounter other people, and I kept thinking in my mind like, okay, there's still like 60 people, 70 people, I'm probably going to be eliminated relatively soon. And sure enough, the numbers keep whittling down, and I'm still surviving in this game. I don't even have the best items. Like, my health is not 100%. I couldn't find enough band-aids. My shields were, maybe relatively high, but still, like, I'm not in perfect condition. I don't have the best guns. And I'm encountering people, like single-person encounters, which really helps, because if you find a group of people, then everyone can sort of team up on you, or just decide you will be the weaker one and eliminate you once, or just wait for the firefight to finish and just eliminate you when you're the last person standing, which I will get back to later because I have an interesting story about that. But I keep encountering single people, and I end up winning these one-on-one encounters. Like, even though I haven't played Fortnite in a very long time, I will say that I think I'm a pretty decent shot when it comes to shooting games. Like, my hand-eye coordination, I think, is fairly good. I don't want to brag, but I have played shooting games, and I'm pretty good at some shooting games that I dedicated time to. So I know I have pretty good hand-eye coordination. So maybe it's not too big of a surprise that I can win a few firefights here and there, even though I really have no sort of game awareness. See, the thing is that some people think it's all about just great shooting ability, or just knowing the game really well. And it's not all about just shooting, right? You have to like sort of know what items are good, what items are bad. You have to know all these different like power-ups and all these different tools and stuff. It's like you really got to know the game inside and out to be super successful at it. Obviously, I don't know everything about the game, so I'm not super successful at it, which is why it's taken me like over a year to get my first victory, solo victory. But heck, what I was trying to say was that even if you don't have all that, if you have a good, shot, you have what they say in boxing, the puncher's chance. Like, you got a chance. As long as you got a good shot and good reaction time, you might have a shot. And that's how I kept thinking this entire game, because I was racking up kills. I kept winning these single-person encounters. I would like sometimes get the drop on people, and I would just carefully take aim and fire, and my shots would connect. And I was thinking, okay, I'm pretty good at this. And soon enough, I find myself in the top 25, and I'm like, oh wow. Like, first game back in how long, and I'm already in the top 25. That's great. I'm finishing the top 25%. That's great. And soon enough, 25 becomes 20, then 15, then 10, and I'm like, whoa, I'm finishing in the top 10. And this is where I sort of start thinking, oh man, I wish I could record this. But here's the reason why I didn't record it, because it's one of those moments where that you're like in the zone, and you don't want to try and break the concentration. I talked about this earlier in the last episode about being in the zone, but it's also like respecting. Kobe talks about this actually. It's like respecting that zone, that place you're in, because you're not always going to be in it. Obviously, I actually stopped right after that because I didn't want to play another game, because it was like, quit while you're ahead. Am I right? Because I didn't want to have a even like a second or third place finish would make me feel bad, because like it's once you get that first place victory, it's like, oh boy, that feeling's great. I know it sounds like I'm a little kid again, but I haven't had a joy like that playing a video game in a very long time. So, just let me have this one, guys, But as I was saying, I was finishing, it was in the top 10, and I was kind of just hiding at this point. I mean, at some strategy at Fortnite is to just hide and just avoid the conflicts when you can, especially if you're outmatched and outgunned. And man, there was this one firefight where the Fortnite players will understand when I say I was in the storm, right? I was running to get out of the storm, because you take damage when you're in the storm. And I was trying to run to the safe zone where you won't take damage. And there was a player just waiting for me at the entrance of the safe zone. So I'm already getting damaged by the storm, and this guy is shooting at me. And for some reason, I'm able to just dodge this guy. I'm like Neo dodging. I'm just like running and just dodging this guy's shots. I duck behind a hill, build my fort of wood, and just heal up. And the guy leaves. And I'm like, whoa, that was a close encounter. So he decided to just, run away from the storm himself and let me live for another fight. And that would be the undoing of the rest of the other players, because I would just, at this point, I had probably knocked out I'd say like 7 or 8, 9, 10 people, because I finished with 12 eliminations. I can show the screenshot where I have the amount of eliminations I had. I had 12. And I think I contributed to knocking out 2 of the last 3 players. So when it came down to about the top, I think the last 3. Okay, I can't really remember the top 5 that well, but I definitely remember the top 3. We were in this sort of area. I know I don't really know Fortnite that well, so the Fortnite players were like, "Where were you? What was the terrain like? What was the region called?" I don't actually remember. Maybe if I upload the screenshot, you'd be able to tell me. Oh yeah, that's like Slurpy Farm or whatever. I don't know. They have weird names. These Fortnite players have weird Fortnite places have weird names. But okay, so I see that when I'm part of the top 3, so there's me and 2 other people left. I see that the other 2 players are duking it out. And this is kind of like a cowardly strategy, but look, you're trying to win, right? Anything to win. I wasn't trying to engage, like actively engage, right? Even though I did have like 12 plus kills, I wasn't because I was seeking people out. It was more like I have to fight. There's no other option here. So the last 2 players were duking it out, and I kind of helped contribute knocking down, I think, the 3rd place player. So the 2 players were like duking it out, and then I was like far away enough that I could somehow I was like sort of supporting like the 2nd place finisher, where I knocked down, I eliminated the 3rd place finisher. And then I figured, okay, now it's just me and this other person. Let's go mano a mano. And I was in a building. I was in a house. I stepped out the front door of the house and I start shooting at the other player, and they're taking the damage. Like, I just see the numbers like 27, 27, 27. And I'm like, go down, just go down. Let me have this. And I empty a clip and I don't knock him down. And I'm like, no, like I have this feeling, am I going to choke? Like, I feel like I'm going to choke right now, because like I had a good chance to win this, and now they're returning fire. And they must be a pretty good player, because obviously they're in the top 2 of finishing this round. So I'm thinking, oh no, maybe they're going to get a really lucky shot on me. And I keep missing. They actually hit me a couple of times, and I'm like, oh no, I'm going to lose. But then pull out my trusted assault rifle and bang, 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 couple of shots. And that's all she wrote. 1st place finish, baby. And yeah, that was the story of my 1st place finish in Fortnite. That took about almost 13 minutes to tell, so I apologize, because that's usually more than half an episode length of one of these podcast episodes. But heck, that's what happens sometimes. I just got so excited that I have to tell somebody. So now that you know the story, I think a good time to insert the clip is going to be right about now. So if you're watching on YouTube, you should see a transition, and I will pause just to let the clip play. Oh my god! Oh my god, I actually won at Fortnite! What is this? This is a history in the making. I won my first solo! Oh my goodness! Oh my goodness! Holy crap. Holy crap. That's amazing. What are my stats? I got 12 eliminations. And now that you have seen that clip, now you know my excitement, you sort of feel my emotion, and you know what it's like to win your first Fortnite victory royale. Well, maybe not. I do, but maybe not you. No offense. I mean, if you play Fortnite and you're really good, you're probably going to be like, oh, God, I finish 1st place all the time. I mean, like, it's no big deal to finish 1st place. Like, I'm obviously, like, Ninja or Tifu or somebody. Look, I don't play Fortnite that often. I'm not going to play Fortnite for, like, another, I don't know how long. Now that I have, I feel like, dang, I kind of want to play now. But it's like, now that I finished 1st place, the only place I can go down now is now or equal, right? So it's like, how long am I going to take now to get to my 2nd ever 1st place finish? I don't know. I hope not too long, but it was a fun game. I really enjoyed myself. I really felt like I was in the zone. That's why I didn't film, because at a certain point, I like I was saying earlier, at a certain point I wanted to be like, oh yeah, let's film, let's start getting the highlights here. But I think that would have totally messed me up, because I would start to be conscious, that this is going to be recorded and stuff. And I think just being able to have the comfort of my own self evaluating my performance was enough for me. So that's probably why I didn't film, but I wish I did because that was pretty epic. And I think it was because I wasn't expecting much. Like I said, I hadn't played in months, so I was not expecting a good finish. I'm looking at the camera right now on YouTube for the YouTube viewers, and I see it's kind of dark, so I'm going to turn on this light here. Apologies if that messes up some lighting. Okay, I think that's all right. Hopefully it doesn't look too bad, but it's getting kind of dark now. Okay, so yeah, 15 minutes into this episode, and I've just talked about Fortnite. So I'm going to stop. I'm going to transition, and I think I will talk about something else now. But I really didn't come prepared to talk about anything else but the Fortnite, so I apologize if this is just kind of cruddy. Research. I think that's what I wanted to talk about. Research. Again, always research. If it's not research, it's something else. And if it's not something else, it's research, right? Research has been quite a bit of a challenge lately. I have been working extremely hard on my research project, and I'm such a perfectionist at heart, I think, that if something doesn't look good to me, I am going to work so hard to try and make it look up to my standard. And I think I've gotten one of my plots. It was one of these plots I was trying to make that just wasn't looking that good, and I had to just somehow make it look better. And man, this week I came up with so many different ways to try to make this plot look better, and I think I was successful for the most part. So yeah, did that. Took a lot of energy, and I got to put all these plots on a poster. But thankfully I have an old poster template that I can use that will suffice, will be sufficient. So really excited to go back home next week to San Francisco. I'm still thinking if I want to bring my camera. I think I will bring a microphone at the very least, perhaps, so I can film, some of these podcast episodes when I'm back home in San Francisco. But I'm kind of stressed out about all the stuff I need to take, because all the stuff I'm bringing to San Francisco I need to have to bring with me to Hawaii, because I'm going to Hawaii straight from San Francisco in January. So everything I take with me now, that has to be all the stuff I want to bring to Hawaii as well. So decisions. I have to pack a lot of clothes. I don't think I've packed this much for a trip in, I'd say, almost 5 years now. So most of the trips I've taken are usually under a week, maybe 4 or 5 days, but this is going to be like a 2-week trip, so I need to bring my big suitcase, and I really don't like taking it because it's just so heavy. Anyone have a big suitcase that's just like really not comfortable to bring? I have one of those. It's underneath my bed. It's been sitting there. It's been waiting to be used again. Hasn't been used in I think maybe 2 years, 3 years maybe. So it's your time to shine, big suitcase. Gonna come in clutch for me now. All right, so there's that. I don't know if you've been hearing, but there's this dog that's been barking outside my window, so I apologize if you hear that in the microphone, but it's just kind of been distracting me because the dog is kind of loud. So yeah, research and Fortnite. That's what it seems like this episode is going to be about, but I really hope you guys, enjoy the content. I know this is really not structured in a very cohesive way. I mean, it's called highly variable for a reason, because I'm just super variable on a lot of things. But I hope it is interesting. I hope I do talk about things that you guys are willing to listen to for 20, 30 minutes. And if you do, then I really appreciate you listening. I really appreciate you tuning in and just hearing me babble. I honestly just see myself babbling, but it's kind of like a nice release, because I can sort of listen to myself later. I can put stuff on YouTube and watch it, and it's it's there for the world to see. And I do just like being authentic. I just like talking about what interests me. And I think one of the difficulties I've had with making content like this is that it's kind of hard to, it's hard to watch yourself on film, at least for me. I really don't I don't really like seeing myself on film too much, or hearing my voice, because I always thought I had a very annoying voice growing up. But some people say, hey, your voice is actually nice to listen to. So I'm glad to hear that, at least. But nonetheless, it is still kind of jarring to hear myself when I do the post filming edits. And I am currently, how many days are we? So it's the 14th, so we got like 11 days till Christmas. My goodness, Christmas, what a magical holiday. I mean, when I was a kid, I have to tell you, Christmas was like my favorite holiday. More preferable than Halloween even, which for a little kid, free candy, I mean, how could you beat that? But Christmas was always a time where I just really wanted to get these, expensive gifts that were sort of based on my interests, like video games. It was usually a lot of video games for Christmas when I was growing up. I think that's pretty much where my video game passion and love developed, is those Christmases, because for example, my first major console that was for me was the Nintendo GameCube. I got it for the Christmas of 2002 when I was 7. And oh man, the GameCube is just, I don't know, it has a lot of unfavorable fans, I guess, that don't really see its worth or kind of like hate on its library. But man, some of those GameCube games, they're just amazing. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but like Super Mario Sunshine, Paper Mario: The Thousand Year Door, Twilight Princess, Wind Waker, Pikmin, Luigi's Mansion. Maybe not Luigi's Mansion. No, I like Luigi's Mansion, but some people don't. I mean, Star Fox Assault, I really like that game. And many more that I can't really think about right now. But it was my first major console, and I have a soft spot for it in my heart. So GameCube. I still have one too. I have a GameCube underneath my bed, and I also have a Wii, which is of course backwards compatible with old GameCube games. And yeah, I really like the GameCube. I really want to know if I should get back into filming video games. What do you guys think? Would you guys watch me play video games if you're still listening? If you're still listening 21 minutes in, I appreciate that. And I would love to hear your feedback if you would think me playing video games would be something interesting that you would want to watch. Because as some of you may know, I have done that in the past. I did it for a while, and I had a lot of fun doing it. I met a lot of really cool people, a lot of cool collaborations. But now it's weird because now I have more equipment than I ever did as a 15, 16-year-old kid when I was making these videos initially. But I have much less time because obviously I'm a graduate student and I have other priorities than filming video games for YouTube. I think for me, it's always hard to dedicate myself to these things because whenever I have a really main priority, like it's like school or work, that's the thing I really want to dedicate most of my energy to. And to be honest, I don't have a lot of energy left after that, except for, my family, my friends, and my studies. So doing YouTube videos again would be quite an investment because I do have quite a bit of equipment right now that would help me make YouTube videos for gaming, but it's just the time and the quality of the content. Because in another way, it's like I want people to be able to see it, and I want it to be able to grow into a larger thing. I can't find the right word, but I want to grow the community, I guess, of my channel. And I feel like there's a lot of good video game channels already out there. There's so many. Like, I was there at the beginning, right? I saw some of these channels in their infancy when they were first starting out, and they've now completely taken off and just dominate the YouTube scene. And it's not that I don't think I could make good content. It's just that I think that the odds of building a community over time will be very challenging because you'd have to be very dedicated, and you'd have to sort of upload at a regular or semi-regular schedule. And I don't know if I could actually dedicate the time because it's just me who does all of this, right? I'd have to film, I'd have to edit, I'd have to upload, I have to, come up with thumbnails and stuff. And everyone's saying, oh, that's so much, like, that doesn't sound like so much work. But truthfully, it is. I mean, it was a lot of work back then in the day when I used to do it when I was a teenager. And I wasn't even putting as much effort as I would want to now, because looking back at some of those videos, while they were kind of fun to make, some of them were very low production quality, where I did the bare minimum to get the videos up on YouTube because, I mean, I didn't really have fancy software to use. I had a pretty primitive recording device that recorded only up to like 480p. And so the quality of the videos weren't always stellar. So I don't know. I'm kind of like on the fence about it because, doing these games, while I do like playing video games, I do want to play them relatively well. And some of these games I haven't played in years. Some of the games I want to play I have never played before. And I don't want it to be just me bumbling around. Unless you guys like to see that. Unless you guys don't mind just seeing me mess up a lot and, learn the ins and outs of a video game. So, I don't know. I'm still thinking about it, but perhaps I will give it some thought. So, yeah, I mean, a gaming channel would be fun. I do think it would be fun. I have some videos actually of me playing chess, and actually I think I have some videos of me playing Portal. Actually, I haven't finished with the Portal playthrough yet, but I've just kind of kept it there in storage because I'm thinking to myself, if I would upload this, I would feel obliged to do more, and I just don't know if I could dedicate myself to do more at the moment, especially because I need to buy a new recording device to play console games. I'd have to buy another monitor because I'd have to film with the TV and the monitor. Because I have a TV as a monitor right now, which I could use to play the games, but then I need another monitor for the editing purposes and whatnot, and streaming if I wanted to stream. So it's a lot of things to consider. It'd be an investment, but I think it could be a lot of fun, and I'd like to get your guys' input on it as well. So if you have any thoughts on gaming channel, my possible gaming channel, let me know, and I will think about it some more. Definitely not possible before I advance to candidacy as a PhD graduate student, because that's obviously my number one priority right now, to advance and be in good standing by the end of my third year in graduate school. But after that, I think it'll be relatively, I don't want to say super chill, but it will be chiller than this stage at the moment. So, wow, we're almost at the 26-minute mark. So I've been talking a lot. A lot of it was about Fortnite, and I hope you guys don't mind that too much. But I hope you guys listening. I can't even talk right now. I hope you guys enjoyed this podcast episode and enjoyed listening to me just babble about stuff as usual, because this is highly variable. This is how we do it here. But I appreciate your guys' listening. I hope you guys will tune in to the future for more episodes, and I will see you guys later. Have a good day, guys.